Hey friends, it's Kagi here, and today we have an episode about Honda VFR 800, the pros and cons. Yeah, many of you asked for a review on this exact motorcycle, so there it is. The Honda WFR 800 first appeared in 1998. It replaced the WFR 750, quite a fancy title, the Interceptor like a crossbody bag. Everything is an injector engine, a V-shaped quadruple, 750 cubes, though the updated model actually had 781 cubes. There were several generations, 1998, 2002 and 2014. Until now, personally I favour the 2002 generation the most. It's more fashionable, in essence more sports oriented, with a more interesting design. The motorcycles have roughly 106 to 109 horsepower. The older version had 98 horsepower, around 80 nanometers at 8,500. It's a pretty standard motorcycle. A 43rd telescopic fork was only actually installed on it. In the late 90s I think there was still a 41. Overall the weight is quite large, that is, there is a dry weight of practically 208 to 220. The curb weight reached 240 kilograms accordingly. Yes, that's a lot, but as if you also need to keep in mind that here is a 21-litre tank in an updated version of 22 litres. Here is a motorcycle quite interesting. Let's move on to the pros and cons of this motorcycle. Let's start as usual with the disadvantages, and the first disadvantage is the wiring. And on the VFRs it is rather weak due to age. There are often problems with the terminals and therefore they should be monitored. You need to spray them with a special anti-static spray, and to keep everything normal there is a special contact lubricant that conducts current. The second disadvantage is the frequent recalls of the motorcycle. During the creation of the motorcycle there were 3 recall campaigns. In 2004 for the brake, it broke when overloaded. In 2005 there was a recall for a leak of brake fluid combined braking system. In 2007 the pipe near the oil cooler leaked. Generally from the reviews, in principle the review is also good. The company cares about the motorcycle, but again there are weak points. If you are owners of motorcycles of these years, and including these years, look out for this. Keep this in mind. The third minus is the regulator relay. Yes, on motorcycles, especially in 98, there's quite a problem with regulator relays. To be honest, probably the whole Honda line had a problem with regulator relays. They constantly overheat, they need to be replaced. Quite a common problem, but again it's a problem because of the motorcycles are already quite old aged, you might say, and once you've changed everything for original you forget about it. If it breaks down again, then something is most likely wrong with the wiring. You already need to look for the root of the failure. And the fourth minus is the gram and tensioner and so on. A motorcycle has a rather weak spot. It's called a rattle, and its tensioner accordingly chains rustle to about 30 to 40,000. Some run up to 50's engine without rustle, without the ringing of Graham. It all depends exclusively on the operation of the motorcycle, because the previous owner could have taken very good care of the engine or could have treated it very badly. Depending on this you will have a rattle closer or farther along the mileage to wear out. Nothing is too complicated, the tensioner is changed, all is simple. Let's go to the advantages of the motorcycle. The advantages here are actually a lot more. The first plus, it is universal. The motorcycle itself is positioned as a sport tourer, so it has the ability to go fast and comfortably at high speeds, but also handle long distances. Yes, this isn't the kind of bike that you take on a long distance trip through, say, the Lake Baikal region, although there are people who drive entirely on Urkus beyond the Urals, but actually this is a motorbike. It's designed for riding on highways and good roads. There's a huge aftermarket for trunk systems, frames and the like. There's absolutely no issue with this, and the nicest thing about this motorcycle is that it isn't that aggressive, especially in the subsequent last generations of VTECs, which stopped being as jerky as the first generations. They are more or less suitable even for beginners. The only thing is that the weight might not be very suitable for. But on the third generation, in my opinion, the third, I could honestly mix up the last one after 2005. The third generation was already fine. They performed well. The engine in general, one of the best engines in terms of characteristics for the city. It essentially revs high, and its lows exist. Of course, they're not as strong as those of the Vobraznik pure Vitvin, but also generally not bad at 80 newtons, which is quite a good number considering that the same 600 power sports vehicles with 120 horsepower had about 60 newtons, meaning it's more immediate here, of course. In this regard, it's a plus. The third plus is the look. I don't know about you, but personally, since 2003, I've really liked these new Interceptors. They're visually very cool. They've made the back of the canister beautiful, and it generally looks pretty. The new one, it's totally cosmic actually. Like when it came out, I looked at it and it was pretty similar to me. It resembles some sort of spaceship, as it was a very revolutionary design for those years. Yet, I personally prefer the 2003 model. It seems more charismatic to me. The fourth Pro is the central kickstand. Yes, you're not mistaken, I truly listed the central kickstand as a Pro because the central kickstand is an excellent feature, given that it makes maintenance much easier. It's very comfortable to adjust, clean, replace the chain. It's really comfortable to switch the sprockets. Overall, all the maintenance is much easier, and that's cool. The fifth Pro is the ABS and Combi braking system designed by Honda, essentially their brakes. I really admire their approach, as they began in 2005, if memory serves me right, integrating ABS not as an option but as a standard feature, which is awesome because ABS is a very useful feature, and hence the Combi brake system that Honda designed is also an excellent innovation that allows you to forget about it altogether. Talking about the rear brake pedal during an emergency brake, and it's quite good at maintaining a balance between the front and rear brakes. With the rear brake in general, the brakes on the VFR for their class and age are very good. Of course, there are motorcycles with much better brakes like the BMW TAH that I have ridden. But again, given their age, they are excellent. In general, what I want to say about this motorcycle is that it's a very cool bike. It's an amazing second bike, or even the first one. If you are a tall guy and can handle 240 kilograms without working out, yes, the bike is good, nice traction, especially when connected to the tech. A nice aftermarket kit that will allow you to ride wherever you want. A single-sided wheel mount. Again, I mentioned the 2003 VFR. It looks great. Good design, of course. The girls will drool because it looks like it's from a different era. Sport, and of course you will probably bend 600 from the traffic light Stopudovo. I don't know the liters, I don't really have 800, but I need to try. Probably a liter is unlikely. You will be able to bend from a traffic light, but 600 for sure. In general, a motorcycle for the city is almost ideal, in addition that it weighs a little bit a lot, but it's a great bike. I like it very much. I'm a big enough Honda fan. I have a Honda brain, but not so hard because I'm fucking with another bike after all. That's it. Kaji was with you. Thanks for watching. The next vid, I hope we will make a Pro Bulldog, but it's going to be a review. I don't know if it will work or not. I hope it will over the weekend. Let's go shoot. I hope you enjoyed the way Kaji spoke to you. Bye bye. Happily.